Hey, everybody. Well, it may just be me. I hope that some more of you can join me, but it is Thanksgiving week, and I know that that just makes for crazy for all of us. So if it ends up just being me, that's fine. I'll just record right here. And your Black Friday special is that we still will do office hours on Friday at 4 p.m. So if you can't meet today, but do have time on Friday because you have a holiday on that day, pop in because I would love, love, love to see you. And while it's kind of crazy, I know, but this is the third to the last time that we're going to be meeting, the third to the last week. While that's true, I want to just bring you in on a secret, which isn't so much a secret because I've posted it across social media today. But I have made the decision in 2023 to offer an entry level group coaching package that is free. That's right, free. I know you guys paid to be here with me these 10 weeks. I really appreciate you being the founding members of breaking in my app, and I may still be using that app during the free coaching in the next year. But I super hope that you join me. I've loved having you, and this entry level group coaching package is a once a month meeting instead of a once a week, a little bit easier to make a commitment to. And who can't commit when you're not actually paying any money? I will be creating a whole new set of materials. So even if you've been through one of my group coaching packages like this before, it's fine because it'll be all new. It, of course, all weaves together because nothing I do doesn't weave with everything else that I do. But the material itself, the exercises, the conversations that we're going to be having, all going to be brand new. And hopefully, much bigger group. With it being free, I'm thinking I will get quite a following in this group. And so we also will have that community connection either through a Facebook group or some other kind of group, if not on the app itself. So that outside of sessions, like you're only going to see me once a month, right? But outside of doing your homework online by yourself, outside of seeing me once a month or seeing all of us once a month when we join, you will also be able to have communication with your fellow group members. You guys can commiserate together. Like, okay, Dr. Natalie has us doing blah, blah, blah. And this sucks. Like, I'm really struggling. Well, how about other people? And you can start to begin to be a support for one another. And of course, I'll be playing around in that community as well. So burning questions in between our group coaching, you get to see me. But come on, entry level package, 12 hours, actually 13, because the first group coaching will be on December the 3rd at 10 a.m. So it's a Saturday morning. I think probably this group coaching will be a 10 a.m. Saturday morning for all of the year. So I'll hopefully have for you nice and ready a list of what days those will be, pending any major things that come up. But yeah, 12 hours of group coaching, all of the workbook, all of the videos. So everybody will have access to the material no matter which of the levels of group coaching that you're in with me. I will also additionally be offering upgraded packages from this free package. So you could have a little bit more touch time with me, like we have. So you could have touch time with me once a week. And I'm also going to be offering some packages that have additional individual sessions. So you do the group coaching, but you also get some one-on-one time with just me. All right. Without further ado, I don't see any of you here yet, so we're just going to jump in. I'm going to share my screen. This week is, you guys, it's so amazing. I love this week. So this week, I want to be talking all about this idea of you, your body, your mind, you being your greatest self-care asset. Okay. You're also, like last week we were talking about, you're also something that you need to fiercely have boundaries around and fiercely protect and replenish and make sure that your energy is in and that you're replenishing it when it's out, when it burns out, which it naturally does when we do the things in our life. I want you to think this week about what a gift it is. What a gift you are for yourself. And there are so many underutilized ways in which our body and mind are our greatest assets in our self care plans and our self care regimens. And I want to reintroduce you to those. I think that, well, we'll get into it, but I think that programming and conditioning, I think society, culture, religion, there's a lot of places that impact women. And women in midlife in particular were like, growing up in the late 70s, 80s, 90s, somewhere in that group, right? Ooh, like some of the messaging that we were given was do all the same kind of small box things that those genderized norms. Oh, but by the way, all of these, restrictions have been lifted. So you better get the best job and work and be a mom. And you better, do this and this and this. You better be all kinds of virtuous, but you need to be sensual because, women can wear whatever they want now. I mean, lots of mixed messaging. Lots of setups, honestly, there was never going to be a way that we could pull all that off. There just never was going to be a way. And so it really gets us in this position where we stop having a relationship with our body and our minds. We don't trust our internal intuition. We don't trust what our mind is telling us sometimes. We go with the flow of, what society is telling us, what we've been conditioned to believe. When our bodies are telling us things, like you're tired, you shouldn't say yes to this. You don't want to do this. This doesn't feel comfortable. We second guess it because we've been conditioned to second guess it. And so what happens over time is this really valuable asset we've dissociated from. Go back, to week 1 and 2 and look at those dissociation stories, the stories of the dorsal vagal nervous system. Look at that portfolio that you're building up. And I bet that in many of them, one of the major things that you notice when you're in that dorsal vagal state is you have no idea where your body is. You're in your head. You're probably off on a thought island. You're ruminating or worrying about something. You're off. You're laying on your couch and you're all embedded in, the best Netflix series you've ever seen since last week. And you don't know, right? You don't know where your body is. You're not in touch with where your body is. You're not sure. I found myself at different times being so tired, but overwatching those, Netflix specials. And then not noticing that, that beats me up on the other side. Right. So that's part of my dorsal vagal story. And I shared that in one of my videos is like, when I'm vegging out on the couch a lot, it's a good rumble strip for me that, something's up. I need to get grounded. I need to get back to that ventral vagal state of being. So you are your greatest asset. And that is where we begin today. We're going to start. We usually start with that self-care piece. Instead, I'm just going to have us start with those worksheets that were right at the top of last week so that we can continue to use them. You'll see that I cue you to continue to, start the week with a self-care statement, to use these categories of self-care. This week in particular, I want you to be focusing in on these first 2, body and mind. Not that you're not going to have these other pieces as well, but these are the ones that we're going to expound on this week. A little bit of spiritual too, or spirit-based self-care. And so we're going to be, again, checking in on where is my self-care balance plan? Like, how am I keeping all of this in balance? So these are all just the things we talked about last week. And then, of course, instead of your to-do list, your to-fun list, and keep adding to that. So maybe you started it last week. You can keep up with it there. But I just wanted to offer all of those tools to you once more. So that's where we start. And then we get to our bodies. Our bodies are temples. Do you not just love this picture? It is the best. I so love this picture or appreciate it. I was like, yes, this is exactly what I was thinking in my mind. And this quote, you guys, if anything, if there's anything that just sits with you from this first part of the week, I want it to be this quote. And I am going to butcher her name because I'm horrible at names. But Nayyirah Waheed, I think is how you say it. This is the quote that I just think will just sit with you for life around this idea of coming back in touch with your body. And I said to my body softly, I want to be your friend. It took a long breath and replied, I have been waiting my whole life for this. I mean, mic drop, right? Like, it is so, so beautiful. I want us to be starting this kind of a relationship with our body. I have actually a couple activities that are going to generate that for us this week. So if we go back over here to the course, as always, all of your workbook is here, and all of the guided meditations are right up front, but I also have them spotted out through the days of the week. So we're going to start with our bodies. And I have, a little video here that's going to get into this stuff that I was just talking about, all that social conditioning that really gets us divorced from our own bodies, and that we lack, knowing that our bodies are one of our greatest gifts or greatest assets in our self-care. So start here. And then what I want you to do is pop over to here. You could do it on day 1 and 2. I consider kind of putting these together as a day 1, 2 set, and then just like saying day 2, go back to day 1, but it did look pretty and nice and neat on the app. So I'm reaching for excellence self didn't like how that looked formatting wise. But what I really would appreciate is if you go to day 2 right away, you'll see that there are these really awesome tools that I want us to really start off with day 1 this week. So thanking our bodies is where we're going to start. Thanking our bodies means at first setting your body aside into considering it a different part of you that you're relating to. It's like a person, here's your body over here. One of the things that I say in the video and I write about in a couple of the days is, consider for a minute that all of these different, mind-based tools of fight or flight, that sympathetic nervous system response, or dorsal vagal, I'm dissociating, I'm vegging out on the couch, I don't even know where my body is, my mind is all dialed in to what I'm watching on TV. When you're in those states, while your mind gets to escape your life, while your emotions might get to escape your life, your body never gets to escape your life. And you are running it through all of these things, whether you're aware consciously or not, all the time. And so not only is our body one of our greatest assets in our self-care planning and in our self-care regimens, it also is probably one of the more vulnerable parts of us when it comes to our lack of self-care or our, buying into this idea of that selfish. It's selfish to take care of myself. It's selfish to put myself first. Your body is getting compromised probably more than any other aspect of yourself, just because it can never escape anything that you go through. So, and thanking our body, isn't this a beautiful picture? I just love this picture. And thanking our bodies, I have given us 2 tools. And honestly, you could start this at the beginning of the week with the worksheet, but you could do the worksheet more than once. That I have the worksheet here. It's also in the workbook. And then this guided meditation. I actually am considering this like something you should do every single day. So there's 2. There's a body cue practice as well this week. But I want you to really do this thanking your body. It's basically like a loving kindness meditation with your body as kind of the centerpiece of it. And the thanking our bodies worksheet, I'll actually open it up here. This is just a letter to yourself, to your body. Thank you for. And a few things I want you to think about as you're doing that is that one of these key parts to this is to really separate yourself from your body and start relating or connecting to this other in your life, this body who is an other. She, he, they are an integral part of who you are, and yet probably one of the ones that is the most forgotten, neglected, or just overlooked. And so we're building a relationship with our body. That's where we start, right? We don't start with putting it through a rigmarole of, you better be walking, you better be weightlifting, let's do yoga, let's make sure to do this, are we eating well, blah, 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 which again is overlooking our body. Here's a comparable. for those of you who are parents, um, and all of us have been kids, so we've had parents, right? This is like the kid that is trying to keep up with this schedule that a parent has given them of all the extracurricular activities, who doesn't really want to be doing all the things, but the parent has this just like, and then we do this, and then we do this, and then we do this. And there really isn't, no one's listening to what the kid really wants. And the kid might not even be saying what they really want because they don't want to disappoint their parents, right? Our bodies don't want to disappoint us. So in this metaphor, our body is like this little kid that we're overlooking what it's telling us it wants. You know, that's what was so powerful about that quote is it took a deep breath and then it said, I've been waiting for this my whole life. Our bodies just yearn to have a connection with us, that we understand them, that we see them as something that we relate to, as something separate from us, but also something that is us. I know these are concepts that are kind of a little strange, a little wiggy. Yes, it is, you know, the therapist in me that comes up with some of this stuff, but I got to tell you, this is really powerful. And I'm not the only one that has used something like this. And so this letter to yourself, it's really about starting that relationship. And so you could write one, but you could write 7 this week if you wanted. And you certainly can use this prompt at any time in the journaling that you're doing, because I think an ongoing interaction with your body is just going to build and strengthen that relationship with that part of you. And then I want you to be specific. You know, I want you to be thanking your body for very specific things. So I think in the video, and if not, you know, here's a little bonus for you. But one of the places that when I do this kind of a practice, I thank my body for getting up, you know, every day when I didn't want to be getting up. I mean, are you with me? Like, especially when you have a job you don't want to have, you know, and you're just like, oh, I gotta get up and I gotta go to this job and I hate this job. I've had these jobs. And what I never considered is my body always got up. I mean, it was a chore. My mind was fighting with me. My body didn't want to get up, but my body would do it if I told it to do it. It can't not, right? So it's like, it's finding these really specific things. You know, that time when I decided I was going to lose 20 pounds in 4 weeks and I went on that all liquid diet and I really, really put you through the ringer. And I'm, you know, I just am so thankful that you just put up with that. You're talking to your body, right? I'm just so thankful that you know, keep standing by me, even though I seem to not get it, that I think I'm being good to my body because I'm losing weight and being healthy. But in actuality, the underlying message is I'm telling you, you're not good enough. Let's do it better. Let's do it this. Let's do that. Like, nope. I just want to build a relationship with you. So I do really want you to come up with some specific times. So that is that worksheet. And then this beautiful guided meditation. Now, if you go back, I don't talk about it until a little later. I think it's like day 5, 6, something like that. But this body cue practice is kind of an upgraded body scanning practice, a little bit upgraded and a little bit more of that loving kindness aspect of it. Like you're noticing parts of your body and you're thinking different parts of your body, or you're showing gratefulness to different parts of your body, trying to practice compassion towards different parts of your body. So it's a little bit upgraded from our basic body scan. And you also could be doing this on the regular. But I think, you know, if you haven't gotten the picture, what I really want us to start with is knowing our body is our temple, right? So knowing our body is our temple, knowing that we are thanking our bodies, that we are taking the time with our bodies to thank our bodies, all of those things. I know that this is a game changer, and because once we start relating to our body like it is another person that we're supposed to take care of, then we access neurologically all those parts of our brain that know how to be compassionate to other people. And now all of a sudden your body that's got neglected is like your kid or your sister or your coworker or your best friend. Like, you would never do those things. You would never not consider their perspective. So that's what I want you to be doing with this body. And once you are at that place where you actually have a relationship with your body, she will go miles and miles and miles for you. They will go miles and miles. He will go miles and miles. You use whatever pronouns you want. You can name your body if you want, but I want you to start to have a relationship with your body. It's a key part of making this shift in your self-care and in your awareness. All right, so we thank our bodies. And then we're going to do some some energy stuff. So after thinking our bodies, I'm going to do a little education on how interconnected we all are with all the things, like literally all the things. There's a TED Talk by Tom Chi. I have this in a couple different places actually. But there's this TED Talk by Tom Chi that is just beautiful. That he literally is a rocket scientist, right? Like he literally is an astrophysicist. He talks about how, parts of the universe, stars, the fine little molecules that are in things that are not on Earth necessarily, other than to be in our bodies, are in our bodies, meaning we have connections to things like celestial beings, stars, among other things. So I want you to listen to this because he starts kind of like very scientific, like I never would have thought these things. This sounds a lot woo-woo. And then here's all the evidence that says that all of that is connected. And here's, what it's changed how I think about things. I wrote a blog a while back, also talking about this idea. And so you could read that as well, and then listen to this video where I talk a little bit more about it. And then I introduce you to Energy Healing for Beginners by Dr. Anne-Marie Chiasson. And I don't have any connection to either of these people. I just found this stuff on the interwebs. There's a ton of stuff. Some of you are I had a Healing Hands practitioner in one of my group coaching groups, and man, she schooled all of us. It was beautiful. I actually should ask her to do a little video so that I can include that in the materials that I give you guys. But it's really just some basic stuff that I picked up on the interwebs. And if you are familiar with this stuff, use the stuff that you have. All I'm trying to help us see is that there's this whole other world energetically for us to tap into, that our mind and our body and spiritually, like our entity is connected to all of these things, both in the physical incarnate way and also in the mental, spiritual soul kind of a way, however you want to look at that. And that is really something to access. That's an asset for you in your self-care plans. So that's your body in the universe. And then we go into, this is that Energy Healing for Beginners video. And this is Tom Chi's TED Talk about how we're all connected. And I just plopped that same worksheet right here on energy healing. And really all I'm asking you to do with that one, oops, wrong page, is to watch those things and come up with a list of things you might want to try, even start trying them this week, start talking to us about it in the community, journal a little bit about what your experience is, but see if there's any of these that are also additionally really wonderful. One of the places I kind of went down a little rabbit hole with for a while was sound healing. And there's some really fascinating scientific evidence now that there's different hertz vibrations that reduce the symptoms of Alzheimer's and senility. There are, alpha waves that reduce anxiety, binaural beats, things you can get for free right off of the interwebs, Spotify, whatever, wherever you get your music. That's pretty fascinating when you think about it. Like just the vibration, just that hertz level is helping to kind of re-regulate and calm your body and your nervous system. And a regulated body is one that you can have more intention and start to have more compassionate self-awareness and start to come out into the world in a little bit different way, right? So that's that part. Then we're going to get into the mind. And I'm going to flip the traditional way of thinking things is like we change our mindset and it changes our behavior. Change our mindset, it changes our feelings and behavior. And it actually is, cognitive behavioral therapy talks about it as a triangle. So it's like behavior on one side, emotions on one side, thinking on the other side. And I say this because the triangle is in geometry the very strongest geometric shape of all the geometric shapes. It has it is literally the most strongest. There's no place on which you can put pressure that the other sides aren't going to be able to take that pressure and withstand it. And so when you think about our body and mind and spirit, or if you think about our emotions and our thinking and our behavior as all interconnected, traditionally cognitive behavioral therapy, and even things like just, pop culture's version of let's change your mindset. You've got to get a different way of thinking about it. Change your perspective. It'll change how you feel about it. All true, all evidence-based, over and over and over again, evidence-based. I'm going to flip it a little bit because it's a triangle, which means any place you start from, it will start to change or impact the other areas. So I want you to start to change your behavior. I want you to start to take care of your body. I want you to start to have a relationship with your body. I want you to start to, put yourself first on the to-do list, having a to-fun list that you have to complete before I want you to try any and all of these things and figure out what that special recipe is just for you. Because when you start to do these things, the implicit message is, wow, she's spending a lot of time with me. She keeps putting me first. This lady, she's ignored me for how many years. And now all of a sudden I'm the most important thing in her world. Wow. When we start to relate to ourselves differently, when we start to take care of ourselves, like we've taken care of all these other things in our life, I promise you the implicit message you're giving yourself is that you have worth. Whether you say it, whether you think it or not, the behavior itself is communicating that. And the behavior itself will then create that thinking over time. So behavior can also drive changing and thinking. And that's where we're going to come at it this particular week. It's not that you can't also change your mindset and change your behavior. So the secret to change, Socrates says, is to focus all of your energy, not on fighting the old, not on the thing you're trying to not do anymore, but on building the new, right? So all I want you to be focused on, don't worry about what your mindset is. Don't worry about how you thought self-care was selfish. Don't worry about any of that. Don't worry about your programming and conditioning. We talked about it for a couple of weeks, I know. So I want you to be aware of what it is. But right now, what I'm asking you to do is just start focusing on what you want to do instead. That's it. Build the new things, because in them is embedded this implicit message, this implicit way that you're showing up for yourself that's going to change things. It's going to be a game changer. All right. So then we're going to get into some really fun stuff, you guys. I can't wait. So day 5, I kind of go into actions, change thoughts, just what I was just talking about, and have a little video on that for you. Day 6 is a little bonus here, calm in our bodies. So I kind of go back to something that I find to be a really useful resource. It's using guided imagery. So it is a mindset thing that does create calm in our body. So first, we talk about how our actions can change our thoughts, and then we're going to talk a little bit about how our thoughts can create different emotions. And so I'm going to walk you through a tool that I use in EMDR. So just note, this is not therapy. This is not a replacement for therapy. This isn't even all of what EMDR is really complicated. This is literally one little tool in a huge thing called EMDR. But I find it to be really useful. My clients find it to be useful. So I have adapted it and put it in here for you. So that you get on day 6. And then at the end, what I'm kind of send you off with is these other 4 tools that are amazing. They're amazing. So watch this video here where I talk about why non-contingent behavioral reward is so powerful. Lots of scientific words there. What it means is when you reward yourself without needing to earn it, you just get it anyway. You could have the shittiest day ever, but if you're scheduled to do the thing that's rewarding for you that day, you do it anyway, right? It's not something you're earning for yourself. It is just something that you do. That's part of your self-care routine. That too has that implicit message of you have worth. Even you have worth even when you're not at your 100% best. You have worth. So listen to the video and then you'll kind of see why these different worksheets are so, so powerful. But I break down in the video that we should have things that we're doing on the daily in our self-care routine, things that only happen maybe week to week, things that are happening maybe every couple weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, so monthly-ish, and then things that happen maybe once a year, big things that we plan for, that we, put some effort into, may have to put some finances behind. When you're talking about these ones up here, these things shouldn't cost you much time, much money, if any, right? Not much time at all, probably no money at all, nothing outside what you're already, budgeted to live with day to day. These ones might have a little bit of a finance piece to it, but maybe not. Like weekly, it could just be that you make a call to a friend. You want to have more connection because you live alone and you don't work with a lot of people. And so it's really important that you make a weekly decision intentionally to call and reach out to your tribe. So it doesn't have to be things that like reward traditionally. I think we think, oh, I'll go to the store and buy a It doesn't have to be like that. It can, it doesn't have to. You might find that that's more of the case in these monthly and yearly ones, but maybe not. It may be something that's more like you have to accommodate in your, say, yearly salary to give yourself 2 weeks off at the end of the year. It's something that I started to do just before COVID and haven't stopped since. So it's only been a few years. Yeah. So this will be the third year, fourth year. Maybe it was right before COVID. Yeah. 2019. That's right. So it was right before COVID, whatever. It's been a long day, ladies. Anyway, so it could just be that you're making a comment. So it's not like it's going to cost me anything at that time because I make sure that I kind of, build it into my yearly income. But those could be the kinds of things that you do for yourself. So this is meat and potatoes, my loves. This is going to be, these are just kind of lists, right? So you're not putting it into your calendar yet, although I use pictures of calendars on each of these pages to kind of insinuate like you'll take it from these lists and you're going to pop it over to whatever your calendar is, digital or otherwise. But we'll walk through those in the video, what each is. And then I literally, hey, we're only a month out from the end of the year. I want you to pick up what is your, planner, and I want you to literally write down what you're going to be doing for yourself. This should have things on it, and those things should then translate to things that go into your daily, weekly, monthly, and yearly. And monthly and yearly is easier to plan for, kind of, ahead of time. Weekly and monthly are probably things you'll revisit throughout the year. Like if daily, during the winter doesn't always look the same to me as daily during the summer. I'm out much more often in the summer. It's lighter out later, things like that. In the wintertime, I'm more of a homebody. So my daily routine looks very different in different seasons of the year. And there's other reasons why things like that will change for us. Our needs might change. Our bodies might be telling us new things, that we need to take care of for ourselves. So that's it, ladies. I know it's a lot, but I promise you, while it is a lot, it is amazing. This is powerful stuff, my friends, powerful stuff. That I want you to now take and just make part of your life going forward. This is the new way that you're going to approach your life. And what we're going to do in the next 2 weeks when we meet for these final 2 times is to tie it all up in a kind of bow, right? So my stepwise process is really, those first 4 are the steps to arrive at your personal liberation. The first 4 are awareness, compassion, empowerment, and self-care, ACEs. But the places, the personalized liberation, so that you can really rediscover your joy. Believe me, we're talking all about rediscovering joy and what we're doing in these last couple weeks. In the next couple weeks, we're going to tie it all together so you see how it's a personalized liberation plan. And personalized means I'm not giving you a step 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. What I'm giving you is 4 very powerful tools that we have gone through and picked apart and deconstructed and made into small bite-sized pieces, tons of them. You can come back to this. You can go back to the app and keep looking at all of these materials, keep working on your workbooks past when group coaching is done. And if you join me for free group coaching, you can also bring some of what you're learning there. But this is going to change your life, people. Personally liberating yourself is not something that you do and it's done. It is something you step into and continue to be a part of going forward. So happy Thanksgiving if you celebrate, happy time off if you just get time off. If you don't get time off, just be happy. Find your joy, enjoy this week, dive into your body, dive into how you're connected to everything energetically, dive into how this mind can really shift how you look at the world. We talked about a lot of mind-based tools and some of our narrative, like reauthoring, re-narrating kind of things. But now, whoo, like we got the whole kit and caboodle going together. This is brilliant. You've had 8 thick weeks of tons of tools. So I want to hear it. I want to see you in the community talking about what it is that you know is working for you, what it is that you know was interesting, but not my thing. It's okay. I throw a ton of stuff at you because I want to make sure your personalized plan has options. I don't want you to feel like you have to follow something regimentally. I want you to have a lot of different ideas, and I want you to know the concepts behind them. So even if I haven't given you the ideas in the last 8 weeks, they're things that you can come up with, right? All right. So remember, Friday, 4 p.m. Central Standard Time, Black Friday. Yes, ma'ams. Just pop on in and we can do some office hours. If you've had a chance to watch the video here, you might have some questions, or if you've dived into some of the stuff, you might have some questions. But otherwise, have a great rest of your week, your holiday, all the things. And I'll see you next Tuesday if I don't see you on Friday. Bye, everybody.